Morning, chaps. Okay, I'm sorry I don't take photos very often or videos of these things, and I'm trying to get into the habit of it because I don't really know how to do it. I'm not very good with it, but I'm just trying to take you through steadily what I find that I do wrong every time I work on this damn thing. And trust me, I don't want to be working on it. I want to drive it, and I do use it for work and driving. So I keep a close eye on everything, and if I don't trouble, then it's all right with me, because I just don't play around with them. But when I do have a problem, it's almost always my fault. So I'm going to show you progression from when I left off last, and like I've said, learning from other people. Before you touch anything in the car, always look at the last thing that you worked on, or the last problem that you had, and your fault will almost always be there. So I'm going to switch this left and then show you where I am. And it's very dirty in here, and that's exactly how you want it. She's very happy being dirty. There's lots of oil and grease everywhere, and that's because I spray everything down to preserve it, and then nothing can corrode. I mean, look at my steering box, there's sweating there, but I don't mind, because I know that it's topped up, and it's got lots and lots of good old dinosaur juice in it, and so I'm preserving what's there. I bought a new earth strap, and I'm just using an old battery charger cable for the moment to just give it a bit of more earth. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the current earth lead, but it's just starting to show some wear over the edges on the point terminal, so I just thought I'd give it a bit of earth. It was part of my fault finding before, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I'm getting 1 ohm resistance between the block, or the cylinder head, and the battery negative pole, so brilliant. The carburetor, I've set the dash pot, and I've so that adjusts the needle and the needle in the jet to as lean as possible. So I don't know, bugger with that carburetor now. It's fine. The diaphragm is sharp. It's tightened, tightened down here, and because the minute you get any air in there, you're going to have disruption. But at the moment, she's working very nicely. I also noticed that if you press down on your dash pot cylinder, as you squeezing on very gently down on the oil that you've topped the dash pot up with, she tends to idle better, and I don't know why that is. I think it's because I've leaned her so much that she's getting more fuel. But as you release the pressure, she stabilizes, and while I'm driving it, she's great. You know, there's takeoff, there's no lag, and well, I checked the plugs, and the plugs are very clean. I've put my old VCS MB, which just means matte black resin ignition coil, back over there. There's nothing wrong with it. It was showing 2 ohms on primary and 20 kilo ohms on secondary. She's great. She's fantastic. So I've put her back, but I've mounted her upright so that I don't have the leads all hanging weirdly, and it's more accessible over there, and I will now never change that position again. I'll just leave it there. I've seen some of the older 6-cylinders have their ignition coil mounted down here by the fuel filter, but mine's up here. I've treated her to a new set of leads. I didn't need to, but they work very nicely. This is looking a little bit tight, but it's actually not. I tidied them up because it's really messy. The problem I have with these leads are they don't clip very well in here. They are on, but it just doesn't feel very good. And yesterday I'm driving around and I had some blipping. I was losing like a lot of, every now and then I was losing ignition, you know. And it ran through your mind, what the hell is it? Oh, it's a dizzy cap again. It's the rotor, it's this, it's that, it's vacuum, and it's the ignition coil. It's none of those things. It was just that I tied this one just too tight, and I pulled cylinder 6 out by accident. One must have come out when I was driving. And yes, so it's not a very good connection. But it's back in there now, and I'm going to give it a go. I changed out the the ignition. The Dizzy, the top looks like that, spotless. No cracks, no holes, and as you can see, I've got the very nice electronic system in, and it's actually working, so I'm so chuffed to bits, because the last one it didn't work. I think I swapped the polarities around because I had a crappy ignition coil on, which didn't show the polarities. Fucking weird. I've never seen an ignition coil with no polarity signal on them. So this is the DV6 pickup that you must buy without the rivet, and it works very nicely. It's only about $2 or $3 for one of these. The other thing that throws you sometimes when you put this kit in is this. There's 2 different magnetic pickups that come along in the pack, and you don't really know which one to use. I chose a narrow one, which sits kind of like over here on this 2-step diode, but it works, so stuff it. I'm not going to study it anymore. I fastened the base plate down and put some of that contact grease to, a thermocouple, like a heat sink, to the base of the carb, as instructed and done, so there's no heat buildup. This is a bit of a fiddle with one hand. The timing is great, so I know it wasn't timing, I know it's not my